Another week has passed and another week has come.
Yay.
We're the XoneBros. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. This is podcast number 335. We're the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. As always, I am joined by the bros, the XoneBros. First, it's Mr. McSpicy in the house.
Hello, good to be here.
Happy Halloween, baby.
Hey, thank you. I got my captain rank on and my wings on my chest and the aviators and the hat, thanks to Super Shot.
That's right. Before, if you, for those of you that don't know, we do a pre-show live on YouTube each and every single week. During the pre-show, we had a little dress up. Thanks to Super Shocker. It was fantastic. Next, it's Jordan the Man.
Hello.
Jordan, what are you for Halloween?
Bowser.
He was Bowser, baby. He was Bowser. Look at that turtle shell right there.
That's super cool.
And last but not least, I am X1, and I was my Vigor character,
Yeah,
which
that
is
was
hilarious, which is super awesome. It's been a big week. Some big news. I want to get the biggest one out of the way first, and that is the Cyberpunk delay.
Yeah, that hurts.
Cyberpunk has been delayed. Jordan, will you just talk about it? Catch everybody up on what the news is with regards to Cyberpunk, and then I'd just like to talk about whether or not we think it's a good thing, a bad thing, and where we stand with
so
it overall.
It is being delayed to, I believe, December 10th.
December 10th. It was originally supposed to come out, the 17th?
The 19th.
19th.
Just a few weeks away. So it hurts. It hurts me hard because this is actually like the most anticipated game for me this year. Like, I am really excited to play this game. I want it.
I want it in my life.
I want it in my
I
life.
need it in
Yeah.
my life.
So no, it does suck that it's being delayed. It sounds like, from what I've seen, they're delaying basically to essentially finalize. I don't necessarily want to say day one patch. You know what I mean? But to basically work out all the bugs, kind of your day one patch. They just need a little extra time to
get that
to get it polished. Yeah, because I guess again, if you look at it, the way if it were to release on its original date, November 19th, they probably would have spent a few weeks fixing it anyway. So I think they just made the choice to delay it. Now it does hurt really bad.
I mean, this is your most excited game to play.
But I don't think
right
this one
after
hurts
launch.
as bad as Halo. Because I know people will be like, well, wait a minute, you guys were really critical of Halo, but why aren't you critical of Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
Because I feel like Cyberpunk was not and is not mismanaged. And I will say that I feel like Halo was mismanaged.
Oh yeah, no Halo.
So, but anyway,
Halo
that's the big difference between, because I've already seen people. Anyway, it's only a month, so it's not too big a deal, and it's
not even a month.
It's not even a month. It's about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's not too big of a deal. It does hurt because I really want to play it, but silver lining, I guess I get more time to play Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, no, that's
So, which is nice,
Assassin's Creed
but-
is that's exactly how I feel. It was like, oh, good, I'm not going to be forced to choose between games to play.
I don't.
This spaces it out in my mind really well.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think this is as bad as the Halo delay. Although I do think Halo, if it's not ready, it should be delayed, right? I just felt like that whole process of the Halo delay was kind of mismanaged between the public.
There was
and
miscommunication.
Yeah, there you go. That's probably a better word to say, miscommunication. Whereas Cyberpunk, I feel like they've been pretty good so far throughout this whole process. I mean, they've already delayed it. I think is this the third delay? Did they delay it twice? Pull up 4. But anyway, like I said, it's only a 3-week delay, so it's not that bad, but it still does hurt because now you got to wait 3 weeks longer.
Yeah. Spicy, your thoughts on the Cyberpunk delay? Is there anything to be worried about here, do you think, with the Cyberpunk delay?
Besides oversized genitals?
Besides oversized genitals, yes.
No. Well, no. If they do it again, yes.
Yeah.
But we have other toys in front of us. It's like we're being dangled in front of us, all these toys all at the same time for this these last couple months of the year. And I agree with Jordan and you, David. It gives us an opportunity to actually fully enjoy Valhalla, right? So I think that helps the sting a lot. I think that helps a lot because we won't just be sitting there being pissed off at what happened, right? Mm-hmm. I'm always under the impression, and this is just my opinion, I think delays are okay because I've gone through some doozies where a delay should have happened and didn't, and the whole game, momentum, experience, all that stuff is just ruined.
Yeah.
Well, for example, the Master Chief Collection. The last time Halo released when it shouldn't have, right? So I really wanted to enjoy that game, and that was just hard on my psyche and soul, and I just really want to enjoy games. So I'm always it's saddened. It's like I don't know. It's like I'm at a grocery store and you see the tabloids about everything sad happening, like everything happening, and you're like, oh, life sucks. But then you have candy in your hand.
Yeah.
You know what? And you're like, I'm here to just enjoy a good little treat.
Yeah.
Right? So I know that's I don't know why that came to my brain, but it did. And I really think that this is one of those bittersweet things that it's sad that you don't get to play it right away. However, it's going to be better when it does release. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be able to enjoy the game a lot more on release, and I think I'm very okay with that part of it, right?
And
so, Jordan, you just said "and."
Oh, so
we're going to you. The camera went to you.
Well, if you
Can we pull it up and as a nice little? To be inspired by that game.
Oh yeah, we can
it's
pull it
a very
up,
inspired game. When they talked about it, they talked about how the delay is because they're essentially developing it for 9 consoles because it's cross-gen, right? Or 9 devices, including PC, right? It does legitimately sound like they're just trying to polish those final. But it sounds like they're trying to get that day one patch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of just that fine-tuning stuff. So I don't know. I mean, like Mark said, if they delay it again, then obviously there was something bigger. But I think it's just they needed a couple extra weeks. Because if you think about it, 2 weeks isn't what it is. 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. 3 weeks at the most?
3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks. That's not like enough time to really drastically change something or finish something. I really do think it's just polish work. You know what I mean?
And that helps
So
the thing, too.
you know-
I mean, Loyal Doyle in chat says, to be fair, you guys criticized Halo because it was such a last-minute delay. But this is not a long delay.
Yeah.
This is a 3-week delay. That's why I say if it gets delayed again, then we may have...
Yeah.
Then I might have to write a letter.
Well, and that's...
You know?
Sorry, can I just jump in
Yeah.
here? I actually think that that's not why we criticized it. We didn't criticize Halo because it was a delay. There's distinct differences here. Number one, when it was announced that it was delayed, the week before it was shown off as the launch title at Microsoft's event. That was the criticism. It was more of a criticism of the marketing PR aspect of delaying Halo rather than the delay itself, right?
Yeah.
In that you clearly knew that it wasn't ready to go,
but you still went ahead anyways.
Your marquee event the week before, I don't even think it was a week. I think it was like 5 days before it was announced, featured gameplay of Halo Infinite with the idea that this was Xbox's big launch title that was coming out 5 days later, 6 days later, we find out it's delayed. Another distinct difference here between Cyberpunk is Cyberpunk gives us a date. Halo, we don't know.
Yeah.
We have no idea when it's releasing, and there's still no update on it. On top of that, it raised red flags where Cyberpunk's not raising red flags because with Cyberpunk, it feels like they're tweaking things to make it perfection, right? Mm-hmm. Given their pedigree as well, I think players and gamers trust that. Halo's director... Remember I said he should lose his job? Guess who just stepped down? The Halo Infinite director.
They must have listened to that episode.
Over the direction of it because it was like...
Let's just say David said something.
Guys, no, this is your marquee. You just sold it. This was the rebirth, the reincarnation, if you will, of Halo, of the Halo universe on the next generation of systems. That's what it's being sold at. And... You botched it from a PR perspective, absolutely.
Well,
and that's the difference between that and Cyberpunk. It's apples and oranges. Like I don't think that there's a comparison there in delays.
Well,
other than that they were both delayed.
Yeah. Well, and like we said, this is the third delayed. Was delayed earlier because it was supposed to come out in the spring. Then this new November, now December. But like David said, at least we still have a date. And again, like I said at the beginning, I feel like Halo was mismanaged completely with that whole marketing, whatever they did, right?
Yeah. For me, and for my criticism, it was definitely a marketing.
It also seems like Halo, although like I know the biggest thing was the graphics, I didn't really care. I just wanted to play the game. You know what I mean? So the big thing between Halo and Cyberpunk as well is it sounds like Halo is not necessarily going under like a full revamp, but they're heavily changing a lot of things.
Yeah,
right?
Actually,
whereas Cyberpunk. I mean, we're just taking developers at their word here, right? So, whereas Cyberpunk, when the director was talking, or the lead project director, it sounded like they just wanted a couple more weeks of polish, right? The kind of day one patch stuff, right? So, and again, the biggest thing is we have a date still, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I agree with Mark. If it gets delayed again, then it's like okay,
yeah,
you know what I mean? But
yeah, there's only so many times that you can. This was what time number 3,
and the difference between. I don't know. I would say another difference between Halo and Cyberpunk is a lot of the Cyberpunk gameplay we've seen, no one's really been disappointed with. You know what I mean? Sure. Everybody likes what they're seeing, whereas Halo was very split, right? A lot of people didn't like what they saw. Some people did like what they saw, right? It was much more divisive.
The
right?
exclusivity is a huge factor, Okamihito. So that was the big thing. And again, it's all in context, right? Mm-hmm. Right. The context when Halo was delayed versus Cyberpunk was the week before. It was the game, the marquee game. You spent 8 minutes at the beginning of your Xbox game showcase showing off the game supposedly going to drop with the Series X. 1 week later,
and then
announced that it has to be delayed and it won't drop at launch.
And then what made me...
And with no date.
And then what upset me, where I think it was mismanaged or some people on the back end were miscommunicating, is the graphics was the big thing people complained about, right? Aaron Greenberg came out socially and said he sees updates every week and the graphics are a lot better than what we saw, blah, all this stuff. And then a couple days later, delay, right? It was just, I think that whole, like a 4-week period was just a weird mismanaged period.
It was rolled out incorrectly. On that, let's actually talk. Yeah. So Cyberpunk, we're all okay. There's games to play.
Well, I'm sad.
No red flags. I think that's the big question. Is there a red flag?
That's the thing. Even when Halo was delayed and this whole what you guys are talking about was taking place,
still sad.
It's sad. I just still want a Halo game that works at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. So I said that then. I'll say this now. I want a Cyberpunk game that works, and I'm okay with delays.
Sure.
It's unfortunate. It's just like stubbing my toe. I hate it. But sometimes it happens, right? But eventually I'll get some shoes. I don't know what that. I'm off on my analogies today. Either way, I'll find my place in life on how I do my analogy. Either way, at the end of the day, I just want a game that works, and I am very liberal with my allowance to game developers to make it polished and to not have a rushed game.
Sure.
So
on that note, let's actually transition and talk Halo Infinite here. News dropped. Halo Infinite director and studio head Chris Lee has stepped down from his role on Halo Infinite. Lee was overseeing the long-awaited next entry in the Halo series, which was supposed to arrive alongside the Xbox Series X and Series S consoles next month. However, Microsoft and 343 Industries have delayed Infinite to, quote, sometime next year. So we don't have a for sure date. You take this and you put it on top that they've really retooled. They went and got... who did they go get? People from the last... I saw their names here. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But they went and got people to manage...
Joseph Staten?
Joseph Staten. That's who I was looking for. To manage the campaign.
Or Joe Staten.
Joe Staten. To manage the campaign side of things. They went out and got some veterans to handle...
Pierre Hintz, right?
Yes.
To do the...
To handle the multiplayer and campaign and stuff like that. So they're retooling. So the question is, and Orc Drain writes in and says, is Halo in trouble... With the delays and persistent staff changes, I'm starting to wonder about that. What do you guys think? I think that it clearly was not
ready.
Clearly not ready. I think it clearly seems like there was a management issue there, at least at this point. What do you think? Are you worried, Jordan? You're the big Halo guy. Are you worried?
I think there obviously was a problem. Again, citing those. What was it, 2 to 3 weeks of weirdness that we had from Halo? I mismanaged. Anyway, obviously someone sees that there's a problem. I don't know who is seeing it, whether it's Phil Spencer or some of the other studio heads, but they're making changes, good changes. I like Joe Staten. He did the campaign on ODST.
There you go.
Really good campaign.
There you go.
I really like the format of that. Not the best Halo campaign. I just really like the format that they did the campaign. Mark's played it now. How they do the basically they do your nighttime and then they go back in time. And it's kind of this meet in the middle.
It shows, you arrive at a scene. It's kind of like a noir. Type style game. For a Halo game, that was very unique, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a noir style game, and you arrive in a scene, and you look around and you investigate what's going on, and then you find like a key item of evidence, and then you go back and play what happened, and it's really cool to see how things took place to arrive at what happened at the scene, right? Mm-hmm. You're basically a character chasing a story. As you progress, you're going back in time to see what happens. It's a very unique style of gameplay, but fits very well with that gameplay. Yeah, it's really good.
And of course, he's. I think he was on the other teams with the other Halo games, but he is a developer that I like, and you can tell cares about the franchise, right?
Sure.
And then of course they have the other guy, I think his name is Pierre Hines,
Sure, yes.
Hints, something like that. He's over the multiplayer stuff, and he's done good work with the Master Chief Collection, right? But no, I think someone somewhere somehow saw a problem and is making pretty big changes.
Sure.
So I think there was a problem. I think that problem is now being rectified.
Rectified.
What? Pierre.
Yeah, we're 12 years old.
I'm
And
pretty
just
sure
like that,
we
we're
are.
12.
Yeah.
It's an interesting discussion. I do think. I mean, here's the thing. From what we saw from the Halo Infinite gameplay, though, I think
I
the
hope
gameplay
Pierre doesn't get
looks-
mad at me because I
He
think
probably
he's
will.
a cool
He probably
guy.
He probably is really upset with your metaphors, and then you made fun of his name.
I think. I mean, I really liked what we see. I mean, we have it up on screen right now from the Halo gameplay, and it's legit. It has Halo, OG Halo feels.
Yeah.
So I think it's a management issue. It seems like at this point, anyways. It wasn't necessarily that the game itself is bad. It seems like management, in getting stuff done, maybe wasn't as where it needed to be.
Well, and we know probably the biggest criticism, because I agree. I thought the gameplay looked very combat evolved. Very.
It did.
It
like it's
felt
going to its
yeah, it
roots.
felt good, right? It looked good. The biggest complaint that we saw or can say was probably the graphics, right?
And not environmental graphics, because those look amazing. Really, it's just on the last
Yeah.
last guy that
I
shows
mean,
up here.
I didn't care too much, right? But I get where people are coming from. Like,
Sure.
I like pretty games. I used to not care about 4K. Now I'm a snob. You know what I mean?
Regardless, our
get
philosophy is and always has been, even when the Halo thing came out, our criticism, I think, at least in my mind, was the way they handled it.
I agree. Yeah.
It felt like a bait and switch, whereas Cyberpunk has never felt like a bait and switch. It seems like they've been a little bit more, were a little more transparent with that. But our philosophy always is and will always be better to delay a game and have it be good than to
When
not.
I think we even said it. It was the right call to delay the game because obviously it's not ready, both Halo and Cyberpunk, right? But it's still, like you said, it was the our reactions are different because of how the developer handled it.
Exactly. Anyways, it's a good discussion. Thank you very much, Orc Drain, for writing in. Great, Orchid Drain. Great question. Appreciate it. And that brings us to the next segment of our show. Jordan, tell us what is happening in the world that is Xbox One this week.
Some stuff.
Boom.
Some
And
stuff.
that's that segment.
Stuff. First things first, Watch Dogs Legion is now available. Came out yesterday.
Ooh.
It is available now for the Xbox. And get this.
Yo.
If you buy it for the Xbox, you automatically get the free Xbox Series S upgrade, graphical upgrade when it comes out on the Series X. So don't worry about spending your money so close to the new launch of the consoles, right?
Dude.
So, but anyway,
We only have one more podcast left
yeah.
before the podcast.
Are you
before the-
serious?
Yeah, it's 11
before the
days away.
consoles come here. When
12 days away. It's 12
next
days
week's
away.
podcast is the last one. How crazy is that?
Yep.
I just got really stressed out now.
I know, it's like, oh my
The
goodness.
The reason is because I don't have one yet. not like you guys have sealed the deal.
Well, we have a Series
We
S,
have the yes.
but we don't have an X yet.
Yeah.
Come on, that's the one I want.
Yeah, no, it's
you
true,
know,
it's
you know
true.
what I'm saying?
Oh, it's true.
It's just Amazon's whole. Yeah, you
Debacle.
bought it, but you really didn't.
Yeah.
But maybe
Yeah, the question mark surrounding that is
you bought it.
yeah. And just so you know, they send me a little message. Just so you know, you're probably not going to get it, but you might. Well, what? That doesn't help.
Dude.
Yeah. Good old Amazon.
Regardless, super exciting. We will have tried Watch Dogs by next week, so we can give you our first impressions. My big question with Watch Dogs is that system that they have where, and I don't know what do they call the system? Do they have a name? Like the Nemesis
Series X.
system, but with
The
Watch Dogs?
Legion system.
the old the Legion system.
I don't
I
know.
didn't pay attention to your first
Yeah.
sentence. I
No, no.
thought
So-
we were still talking about the Xbox.
So Watch Dogs Legion, that idea that you can be anybody and recruit all these people with all these different attributes to your missions, to your team, is super cool.
Yeah.
Whether or not you can do that, whether or not that works out and is gimmicky, is yet to be seen. If it's not gimmicky, I think that's a very cool scenario, a very cool system for the future of Watch Dogs, something that really sets it apart. If it is gimmicky, that's the game. Like, then that takes away from the game.
Then they got
altogether.
Assassin's Creed in a few weeks.
Then they've got Assassin's Creed in a few weeks to kind of help them out there.
So next one, I am actually going to try out immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, of course,
Next-gen update.
I got to wait for the new consoles. But
Yeah.
the next generation update from No Man's Sky is here. So what it's going to do is it's going to have enhanced graphic fidelity on the consoles. So on the consoles, Xbox Series X, 60 frames 4K, which is going to be great. Also, big one, and this is what I'm excited for, 32-player on the consoles now.
Dude, everything is getting
32
bigger
player
on the
servers.
next consoles. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Everything's getting bigger.
All right.
So they also talk about base building on the next generation consoles can reach more ambitious heights with the ability to construct larger and more complex builds.
Ooh, I like
All
it.
in 4K 60
I like it.
on
I
the
like it a lot.
new console, Xbox Series X, and then of course the big one for me was probably 4K 60 and 32 player online.
Yeah,
so you can have a server up to 32 players. I'm thinking maybe a community play.
Yeah, absolutely. Another
Although you would have to have the new console.
That's true. Another game that's being updated as well for the Series X that was announced was Ark Survival Evolved. And ready for this? This is really cool. The developers showed off all the features that are coming with Ark Survival Evolved in the update.
Yeah.
And we're obviously getting updated graphics and everything, 4K, the whole shot. However, the settings on the Series X are higher. You can't even reach those settings on the PC. It's not available, and that's what they talked about.
Yeah.
Super cool. And that is upgrading to 100-player servers.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh,
Talk about clan wars.
I think it's time to whip out the X1Bros clan again.
Yeah.
Survival.
While I whip this out.
Whip it out.
Another big thing about the next generation update for No Man's Sky, this is right from their website, crossplay, which is really cool. So let's talk about it. So basically it just says all iterations of the universe are united. Travelers on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and S can now explore alongside other travelers on all platforms,
Dude.
which is really cool. So
Super-
hopefully they'll be able to maybe bring in the PC to that at some point.
Yeah,
but
we dropped a video this week about this update and about the Ark Survival Evolved update. So if you haven't yet, head over to youtube.com/X1Bros and subscribe to us there. But I discussed how I think this is a sign of a true next generation update in consoles is that our current games are being upgraded and enabling us to play in ways that we haven't been able to play in these games before. And when has that really happened before with other consoles? It really hasn't. You're seeing these games be upgraded for the next generation, and it's just super, super cool.
Very cool.
Granted, we've never really had perpetual games from consoles to generations to console generations, so that's something that's new. Regardless, it does make it feel like it's a true next-gen update. Loyal Doyle in chat says, dude, I'm highly considering jumping into No Man's Sky, but for some reason, I'm intimidated.
I am a little too, but I'm still going to jump in.
Any of the space simulation type games is always intimidating. Anything with space is intimidating.
I wonder if my building is still there on that cliffside. You guys remember
It sure
that?
is. It was your planet.
It was my planet. Anyway, very cool. Well, hey, I know everybody's sad about Cyberpunk, and you may still be sad about Halo.
This is,
but
there's one thing to be happy about.
to hold you over,
Oh,
Star Wars Episode 1 Racer
Oh.
is being re-released for
this-
the console.
this
This
game
game was a
originally on the 64?
1999, my friend.
64,
This-
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was a fantastic.
Dude.
Let's for those of you watching, let's pull up the trailer
I'm
here
going to.
for the Xbox. It's
Yeah.
very, very cool, very classic. They didn't do anything at all. Didn't even upgrade it. This is just the original classic.
Oh, baby.
I think they did split screen or something like that. There's obviously probably a few upgrades here and there, right? It's
Sure.
high definition and stuff like that. But it's like the old style graphics. It's
Well, I just remember the way the vehicles move was so cool.
this is it.
This
Pod
is
Racer
it, baby.
right here.
Pod racing.
Pod racing in the Star Wars universe. Star Wars Episode Racer. I believe it is out now.
And how much is this going to cost?
I can find that out for you.
Yeah, I would like to find that out. While Jordan does, I do want to shout out Rocket4. Thank you very much for that super chat. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I pulled it up right now.
Oh, baby, there it is. This is the actual trailer.
Dude.
The launch trailer of it. Dude, look, that looks good. Oh, that looks so good.
I loved this game. It was like what was awesome is how you could upgrade everything and
Hey, they even have that in the trailer. Wait for it.
yeah.
Dude, look how this
Oh
is
my
nostalgic.
gosh. It's definitely dated,
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's still
Well, here's the thing.
looks smooth, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, super smooth and fast.
Imagine.
It's dated in the
polygon amount.
yeah.
It's the polygon count that is dated, but it looks very
like, the
smooth.
racer itself looks really good. It's the textures are a little bland.
I played the crap out of this game.
Dude, who didn't? Everybody did.
I don't know. Greedo? I don't know.
Greedo.
Greedo, yeah.
Is there a price? Were you able to come up with
The
a
price
there?
is $15.
Oh, I'm there. We're there. Boom.
So
done.
the only disappointment I have though is I wish they would have added online multiplayer. This is just
Yeah.
split screen, which is cool. It's cool. It's fine. You know, it's fine. The original experience,
But
right?
you'd have to add. I don't know. I would like that.
That would be nice. That'd be a nice little
Yeah.
remaster feature. You know,
True.
but no, it's okay. $15 for Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. Imagine the quick resume feature on this game.
Oh, baby.
You are gonna fly. There's gonna be virtually no loading screens.
Oh man, and I loved racing Anakin's racer.
when does this drop, Jordan?
I believe it's out now.
Oh, Couchcast. This is our next Couchcast.
Yeah, it is.
I
split
think
screen.
That's a fantastic.
It's 2-player
idea.
split screen, but it is split
Couchcast,
screen.
baby.
Yeah, it is available now. So very cool. I thought that was actually a fun little game that came out this week. So be sure to check that out. PUBG Season 9 update.
That's right.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. For those of you that don't know the acronym,
The pubs of the G's.
brings a new Survivor Pass, which is their version of the Battle Pass, and then a new dynamic map, which is really cool. It's a volcanic island, and basically it's just weather effect changes. You'll have to kind of like in Apex. If you guys have ever played Apex, I think it's World's End or World's Edge has the lava, so there's going to be lava on the map that you'll have to not run in or else you'll die. There will be dynamic changes in weather. I think they talked about ash falling down, sun coming in, covering the clouds and stuff like that. So it'll be their first dynamic map. We'll see how far the dynamicness goes with it. This came out on PC last week, but is available this week now on the console, which is really cool. And then we jump over to Destiny.
Before we move on to Destiny, I do want to mention PUBG. Some new perks for Game Pass did drop, the October perks. There are Halloween perks there. So for those of you that don't know, if you're new to the Xbox ecosystem and you have Xbox Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, you can go to Game Pass on your console and there'll be a button, perk. Scroll over to the perk button and there's tons of free content and packs for different games. If you're into PUBG, there are actually 2 packs for PUBG that are free right now. One is the Flower Girl pack, which comes with like kind of their theme for this season, and the other one is a special Halloween pack where you get special, I think, the Bloody Nurse costume.
Who
is what
doesn't
you
want
get.
that costume?
The bloody sexy nurse
Yeah,
costume.
so-
It's always a good time. Go check that out. Also, while I'm on the perks, there's also a free Halloween movie, Warm Bodies, which is like the zombie romance
Oh yeah,
movie.
where he
Remember
like
that?
is a zombie, but then he
Yes.
falls in love and becomes human again.
It's free right now. So head over and make sure you pick up your Game Pass perks. Destiny 2. We've got the Beyond Light launch trailer, right?
Yes, the Beyond Light launch trailer came out. Very cool. It's your typical Destiny trailer. It gets you going. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It gets you going.
Gets you
But
going good.
The launch trailer is now here. The game does release November 10th, and it is important to keep in mind that this game is on Game Pass. So Destiny is available on Game Pass right now, but Beyond Light will also be available on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, don't purchase it. It's already there for you. I mean, I guess unless you want like the pre-order perks and stuff like that. But anyway, it is on Game Pass, which is really, really cool. And the trailer looks good.
Do you think... So it was rumored, and I think we're going to get a big announcement. Rumor is that we're going to get a big announcement in a few weeks of the next purchase of Microsoft Studios, right? Who they purchased. We had Bethesda. Bungie. It was rumored that Bungie was approached. This was before we knew anything about Bethesda. Bungie. Do you think it would be worth it for Microsoft to have Bungie in its wheelhouse as a studio? Do you think that's a good get for them? Is that a possibility? Do you think?
I don't.
I mean, I think it's a possibility. I don't think we need to discuss that. But do you think it's a good get?
I think they're already in the wheelhouse because of Game Pass, that Game Pass deal, right? I mean, this is the newest expansion. I mean, base Destiny, I believe, is already free to play, right?
Yeah.
I know the 2 major expansions, or 2 of the expansions are already on Game Pass. This is the newest expansion that's already going to be on Game Pass. I think they already have their deal with Bungie, and I think they've already had a good relationship with Bungie via the Halo days.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know if they'll buy Bungie. I think they've already got a good relationship with them.
Yeah. The thing is if you bought Bungie, Destiny would be a game that does not become exclusive to Xbox,
exactly,
but it would be eternally on Game Pass, which in and of itself is a big
deal.
purchase for
But
them.
see, that might already be their deal because I mean, look, this is their newest expansion already on Game Pass.
I think maybe
Very
what you
cool.
do gain
So.
is you could have them work on Halo.
Yeah. Hey,
mean,
can
that's-
you guys?
that's what you-
Hey,
That's what you gain, right?
Ironic.
So,
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's the big
along
bit.
with Bungie, though, they did release a vid doc forged in the Storm, which is just like a developer diary of more of Beyond Light. So be sure to check that out as well, along with the new launch trailer, which is very cool. Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition releases November 10th. A lot of stuff coming out on November 10th.
Yep.
So,
It's true.
But Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition has been announced. It's coming out it's coming out November 10th. It will include every Borderlands 3 add-on so far, as well as the base game, and it provides the new Season Pass as well. So I believe you get Season Pass 1 and 2,
Yeah.
along with anything else that's been added to the game. And I think you do get the new cosmetics. I believe they're called the Final Form cosmetics as well. So it's quite the bundle.
There
So
you
if
go.
you've not already purchased anything for Borderlands, this is obviously the big one to buy. It's kind of like to me, it feels like, you know how they used to come out with like the Game of the Year edition that comes out with everything. So yeah, you do get both game season passes. The first season pass, I believe, is already done, and the second season pass is just getting ready to release as well. So very cool stuff. Big thing for this week
Probably one of the biggest news stories this week.
is Apex.
Apex.
Now let me tell you something.
New season trailer.
Let me tell you something fierce. I think this is going to be the best season yet.
Well, I would agree with
And
that.
I think I say that every season.
Well, I think having the big news here is that we're going to Olympus, baby.
New map. The bigger news, we're getting a freaking cool new character. And even the bigger news after that, we're getting hover cars.
And even bigger news, or just as big news, we're getting clubs.
Yeah,
which will
that's
be
really
which
cool,
will
yeah.
be which means that we're going to get club challenges, club dailies, club events, like super baby. There's going to be an X1 Bros.
In case you're wondering, I will be making an XoneBros club.
We've got some really good Apex players in the community, so it'd be super
Don't
cool.
worry, we got you covered. We will be there on day one making an XoneBros club.
Making sweet
Explain the hover
sweet,
cars
sweet
to me.
love.
So let me explain how the hover cars are going to work. All right?
Because everything you said turned me on except that.
Okay.
I'll be honest, because I did enjoy Fortnite for a good time.
Yeah.
But it was as soon as they introduced vehicles that I bounced.
Yeah. So here's the hover cars. As you can see, the new map, Olympus, it has a lot of wide open spaces, has a lot of closed trench spaces. So I believe the hover cars obviously won't be able to go anywhere. I think you have a way better advantage in this game as opposed to Fortnite's vehicles because hover cars are only, 2 feet off the ground, and you can look down on them. You know what I mean? Like if
you
hover-
totally look down on them, like, oh,
yeah. Well, you know what I mean? Like if a hover car is going through like buildings, you can look down on it and shoot at it and all this stuff, right? I don't know what the health of them is going to be. We don't know. We'll know when they launch. What excites me
yeah.
and what they show in the trailer is you can get creative with your hero abilities on the hover car. 2 of the abilities they showed off is putting Gibraltar shield on your hover car and getting out of dodge. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
just
that
getting
makes
out of
sense.
there, right?
Well, he just went up in value right there.
Yeah. The other thing they showed on the hover car, which I think a lot of people are going to do, is you can throw down, I forget her name, but the turret lady, you can put her turret on the
isn't
hover
it-
car.
Starts with an R, right?
Yeah,
forget
I
her
know
name.
who you're
I
talking
forget her
about.
name. Rampart. There we
yeah.
go.
Yeah, so you can throw her turret on the hover car and basically turn it into a warthog.
So it does look like
But-
the hover cars are set on like an outer rim highway
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can take the hover cars into a certain area or if they're locked to certain places of the maps. Now, I would assume, and this is just me and the pedigree of Respawn, they've kept a lot of things fairly balanced when adding new features. So we'll see how the hover car thing goes. I just like that you can combine abilities with hover cars. That just looks
Yeah.
cool.
It's going to be cool when you're doing them, but very uncool when you're not doing them, like when you're the opposing team. Like, can you imagine that her with the big old minigun posted right on, just running around, mowing people over with her Gatling gun?
I can.
I know.
I can.
But, duck.
What do you guys think of the new map? It looks interesting. It's not.
I love the
as-
color palette.
It's not as urban as I thought it would be. I really expected like more closed spaces, which I guess is kind of anti-Apex. I don't
Reminds me of
know
that
how they would
movie-
do it, but
It reminds me of that movie Elysium with Jodie Foster.
yeah, like it's very wide open, more wide open than I would have thought.
Well,
Olympus
It
would be.
feels very vertical as well. As what I don't know. I don't know. I we'll have to see him play because there's a lot of
Because to me, it doesn't. I don't know. It's not what I expected. Anyways, I really wanted to see like closed in buildings.
I like
but
it.
we've got wide open space. I mean,
But it also looks like
sexy,
they have
no
like
doubt.
an upper platform, and then you see a lot of underneath. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like
yeah.
so, I will just have to see. But anyway, see like this, they're in a big building, right?
Oh, that's true. That's it. You're inside there. That's
Yeah.
true.
So I don't know if those are specific buildings or specific. I don't know. It looks like a cool map, right? This will be their third map, so we'll see how they do at designing a third map, knowing what they know now with all their characters, right?
Yeah. And adding
but
vehicles.
The new character, very cool. I like her ability. So one of her abilities she throws out basically a grav boost, essentially, where your friendly teammates can jump up. It looks like other teammates can get, or other enemy players can get caught in it, and then you just turn around and shoot them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know, because see, she used it to jump up, and then I've seen her use it to get other players caught in it. Now her ultimate is basically a black hole.
Which is
So the way
cool.
the way they show it in a trailer is I think it can suck in players. I don't know if that's just an execution or if that's I don't know. I think that might have just been an execution
looked
they were
like an
showing off.
execution,
But anyway,
yeah.
but what it looks like is let's take Gibraltar or Bangalore. Their ultimates are basically mortar strikes. She used it as defense against those mortar strikes. She threw it out, and it sucked in all those mortar strikes, so your team was safe. So it's a counter to that, right? Which is interesting. But what's really interesting is I wonder what kind of statistics they're looking at. Because obviously that ability, her ultimate, was shown off as a counter to mortar strikes. I wonder what they're seeing on their side. Like, is that an overpowered ability right now in the game? You know, it's very... Because obviously what they're seeing determines kind of what character they need to make, right? Because
Maybe. I mean, you're giving them a lot of credit, which they probably should have that credit, but I believe that sometimes
They shoot from the hips.
They
They're
just
just like,
shoot
hey.
from the hips sometimes, right?
So on the Trident, though, I just had this thought, Spicy. I don't think there's anything to be worried about because what it looks like to me is it just replaces the train. Except for you have individual carts on the train. It looks like it's on a closed track.
It looked like that up until the point when they go off of they're like in like some refinery area or something.
Yeah, let's as it comes up, it's coming up here in a minute. Even that part though, I think that's still like
Part of the track?
I think that's still part of the track, right? Like I
'Cause-
think it's a closed loop.
I think, yeah, if they're only powered on certain parts of the map, that would make sense. What are
Can
you laughing at?
Well, I'm just imagining like they're like the train. You know, they have to
No,
they have to have the wire above it. Can you imagine the guy
well,
that
I
like
think it's
accidentally
replacing-
turns off the course and he's like, oh shoot,
like at the little-
and they're like trying to push it back.
Yeah,
you know?
well, I
Like,
literally think it's replacing the train. Like I think see that's a closed track clearly.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's I get that too.
Yeah.
But there's this part when
Right
they're
here when they
not.
jump.
This
Right
seems
here.
like it okay, but then you hit this part and then it's
But also see the arrows. It kind of seemed like a
yeah.
Yeah, like maybe that's just
That would be a cool idea if it's just limited in there. Right?
well, and
So-
that's why I'm sure that it doesn't change the game because they already had moving vehicles with the train, right?
it's like a tram that
in
just
the last
electric
one.
tram
Yes.
that needs the wires up top.
What's
to
really
go.
funny is like you're gonna come across a team that's like accidentally turned off the road and they're trying to push it back, you know, and
yeah.
then you just kill them.
November
Yeah.
4th.
Coming
Liz.
November 4th.
Yeah.
Has Respawn talked about any enhancements for the new consoles?
Not yet to my knowledge, but I'm not really paying attention to Apex at the moment. So
Why not? She's got red hair.
I know that's what Fitzy
You
said.
should
in
be
chat.
paying attention.
I know.
Isn't that a thing?
Hold on.
I'm a sucker
In this
for
trailer,
redheads.
if you're watching live, can you go back like 20 seconds in this trailer?
20 seconds.
This has got to be scripted. I don't know who is doing this in real life. Ready?
What
Hold
part?
on. Watch it with the
He's
Kraber.
running with it?
With the Kraber.
with the Kraber. Okay.
Yeah, who's
He's
doing
got
this
a
with
Kraber?
whoever's doing this with a Kraber? My gamer tag is Jordan the Man. I want you to call me and be on my team right here. Jumps with the Kraber, and then he's like, I'm just gonna take this guy out. I got him.
Oh yeah, that's scripted.
Who's doing that with the Kraber?
That for sure is scripted. I mean, I've seen some crazy Kraber shots.
Well, I mean, the guy was being stupid and running towards someone with a sniper. I mean,
I don't know.
I was playing Warzone with somebody that tried that same maneuver,
Yeah, who was that?
and it didn't turn out okay. I mean, he was feeling it. He had
he
double
was
digit
feeling.
kills.
He said, "Guys, I'm going."
but he
Come on.
felt it too hard there and ran straight towards the sniper.
The Octane bounce one shot Kraber move.
Dude, I like
I don't
it.
think so. I think it's scripted. I'm calling it. I think it's scripted.
Regardless, I like it. That does us for the news. That brings us to the next segment of our show.
Okay, there you go.
This is the portion of our show where we take your questions. To submit a question, you can do so each and every single week over on YouTube. Become a member, facebook.com/X1Bros. In the community tab, a post goes up. Check it out there. First question comes in from Blake Jenkins. Blake writes in and says, "Hey, gang, I'm back from my stay in COVID-19 prison. After last week's episode, I realized that you guys really need to rename a portion of your podcast, Life Advice with X1. I don't... Was I giving life advice? What was my life
You
advice?
always give life advice.
I don't remember.
You always do.
I just offer it up so freely.
You even say, here's some life advice.
Here's
You
some
even
life
start
advice.
a lot of that out like that.
Yeah. He said, in that spirit, I'm in need of some advice for this coming generation of consoles. So as of now, between me and my fiance, we have 1 Xbox One X. Way to go. 1 Project Scorpio.
Nice.
Very nice. 1 Xbox One S. Not as nice, but still nice.
At one point, it was
was
11% better.
It was 11% better, yeah. And also some PC parts and a case for a gaming PC down the road that we plan on building. He says, I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in order for both of us to play the games we want and how we want while saving the most money. I prefer playing on the best platform I can and plan to play games like Cyberpunk at the highest possible fidelity. My fiance likes games like Sims, Minecraft, Dungeons, and Forza Horizon. What should we do to ensure we both have the best platforms for each of us? Should I give her the Scorpio and sell the other 2 for a Series X, or upgrade us both? Spicy. Immediately, I'm sure you're probably thinking the same thing I'm thinking. I can sense it.
Well,
Of what the man should do.
Maybe. The games she wants to play, she can literally play on a potato.
Yeah.
It's Minecraft. It's
However, you're getting ray tracing now.
That's true. That's true. So if she wants that fidelity,
Yeah, you're getting ray tracing.
those reflections on that lake going.
And it is legitimate, awesome looking.
Yeah.
My advice, I'll give my advice real quick, and Spice, you tell me if you agree. I think you get rid of the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S, trade them in, and get your. I would keep, if you're going to keep any of them, keep the Project
Have her
Scorpio.
keep the X. You get the bad boy.
I like it.
Well, if you're going to keep anyone, keep the Project Scorpio, because the Project Scorpio is kind of a collector's thing, right?
Oh yeah, that's.
I would keep the Scorpio.
That's
Aren't
But
they the
if
same
you
thing?
don't,
He's got both of those.
he's got just a standard One X and then the Project and then the Scorpio edition.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep the Scorpio back.
No, I trade them. This is what I would do. If you're wanting to trade all of them in, you could trade all of them in and probably get pretty close to both a Series S and a Series X. Put her on the Series S because she's going to get the load times that are awesome. She's also going to get the ray tracing that are awesome.
Sure.
She's just not going to get the 4K, but who cares?
Sure.
And you get the Series X, which puts you on the best platform.
Well, she's gonna be playing Minecraft and those like Sims.
and
well,
actually,
Sims.
I think it's Minecraft Dungeons, which I do not believe has ray tracing coming.
I'm sure there's going to be an update at some point.
Yeah, but since they haven't announced it,
You're
use
future-proofing
that.
Minecraft
You're
Dungeons.
future-proofing Minecraft Dungeons. Grab the guy would get a Series S for her and a Series X for you. If you're going to trade in all 3, that's probably getting you pretty close to that. If you're going to keep one, I would keep the Scorpio just because I think it's a special edition. And you keep
Yeah,
the special edition.
I actually just say get all new ones. Yeah, get the S, get the X, and smile, and then get a nice monitor
Ooh.
with a lot of frame
See,
rate.
here's my question though.
Yo.
This is the only problem I have with trading in all my consoles
Okay,
for the new
okay.
consoles.
Yeah.
Let me explain
Give
it
it
to
to
you.
me.
And I'm not saying this is gonna happen,
It's going to happen.
but I'm just saying
Go ahead.
every time a new console comes out, there's that possibility you're gonna have to send it back for warranty. What are you gonna have to do for that 7 days while it's gone?
Cloud. XCloud.
Maybe that's why they came out with xCloud.
PC, Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah. Okay. I see where you're
There are
going
more
with
ways
this.
to play
Because
than
that
ever before.
did happen with my Project Scorpio. Remember, I had to
Yeah.
go. Luckily, I had the S still.
Yeah.
So I was able to continue my gaming.
Well, but they'll have 2 of them, so they could still play. They'll just have to take
Oh,
turns.
okay. Yeah. It's okay.
Just have to share.
You both looked at me both at the same time. I don't know. I say get the good stuff. Get that good stuff.
There you
man.
go. Hopefully we answered your question. I don't know that we did.
It's just
I'm
always
pretty sure we
it's always
did
good
it.
to have a backup.
Yeah.
It is always, yeah. And if you're going to have a backup, like David says, keep the Scorpio for sentimental reasons. Because I wish I still had my SNES, and I still wish I had my Nintendo 64, and I just wish,
But he
keep
traded
going.
them all in for the original Xbox.
So
But I traded them all in.
the last part of his question, Blake says, "My marriage is in the balance, and turbulent winds are blowing hard. You are my only hope, oh great wise ones."
Okay, so
You
give her
might-
the X.
Give her the X. Just get 2 X's,
Or you might have a third X.
or she might become your X.
That was my
Yeah,
joke.
yeah.
That's where I was trying to go.
Super shocker. writes in and says, "How's it going, bros? I was just thinking about how long gaming has been a part of my life. It's been a long time. And in that time, there have only been a few games I have played from start to finish without taking a break. Halo Combat Evolved is a great example. So with that said, can you guys remember a game you started in the morning and finished just before sunrise the next morning? You never took a break. You went in, you got out, you beat the game in one sitting."
Well,
I don't know, one sitting. It was pretty close to. I think I beat Gears 4 fairly quick.
There you go. Gears 4.
I've had games tell me to stop playing. Literally, I was playing Guild Wars 1.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just playing over. I had worked all week. This is before my marriage. This is
Post-adulthood.
But I'm still on that just about to go into responsibility phase, but right before, right? And I was playing Guild Wars, and it said something to the effect of like, "You've been playing for 33 hours. Go to bed." It came up on the bottom of the screen. Or whatever. I can't remember the number, but it was pretty ridiculous.
It's funny that...
And then I'm like, oh my
It's
gosh.
funny that 33 hours was the limit. Like, it seems like it should be 10. You know what I mean?
I know the Nintendo used to do that a lot.
Yeah.
They would say, "Hey, you've been playing a lot. You want to go outside?"
A game that I went all the way in on... Is there a game recently that you've done that too and just beat it in one
Well, I
sitting?
remember when Minecraft first came out. Like, not came out with Microsoft, but came out with like the weird PC version.
Sure.
Right? Like, it was just odd how you had to buy it via PayPal and nothing else. So it was super sketchy, you know? It's just a weirdly released game. But I got it for the first time and I played it. And I remember just like playing, you know, and then I'm making my cabin and I'm just, oh, this is so neat, you know? And then all of a sudden it hit me. Whoa. And it's like 4 a.m. and I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done with my life? I got to go to bed.
Well, do you remember when we...
like this cabin's great, but what am I doing with my life?
Well, do you remember when we bought the Scorpio editions, the Xbox One X? On launch day, we got them, and I think, didn't we just play Minecraft all day?
We did. I mean, we built those 3 houses in that private
and it was
server
like,
that we had.
well, not only did we buy the world's most powerful consoles,
We
this
used it
game,
for
we,
Minecraft.
We literally spent hours building 3 houses.
I think I did Rise in one sitting because I streamed it.
You streamed it all in one sitting?
I streamed
that's
the
impressive.
end of
It's only like a
so-
5-hour
Yeah,
game.
it's not very, I think
But
I streamed,
streaming is a lot
different. That's true.
It's different. Takes a lot more oomph.
But that was like at the beginning of streaming, so I probably didn't talk at all. I probably just played it, and I wasn't on camera. That was like through the Xbox stream.
Oh, then you weren't really streaming.
So yeah, it wasn't really
It's
streaming.
a fake stream.
Yeah, it was a fake stream. That's true. Loyal Doyle says Inside. Oh, Inside.
Oh, yeah, Inside and Limbo, and Cubot, for that matter.
Cubot.
All in one sitting.
That's right.
That one, you didn't even need to look at the screen.
Ben-Hur.
You just followed the instructions.
Up, down, left, right, up, bing, and then...
All right, next one.
Great question, Super Shocker. Thank you very much for writing in. Tom1Miss72 says, "Hey, bros, thanks for answering my question regarding headphones." If you remember, we had a question about what headphones to get last week. He says, "I bought the SteelSeries 9X that was recommended and the dongle for my PC until I get the Series X. My question is, with the Xbox release not far off, is there a certain release time for online? I have money already in my Microsoft Store account, so my store option is limited. Thanks again." Is there, so with the Xbox release not far off, is there a certain release time for online?
I don't understand.
Like when are you talking about when the new console comes out to purchase the new console? I think it's planning on shipping day 1.
Yeah, I get it.
He says, "Thanks again. Love the show."
You're the headphone expert, David. You go with this one.
Yeah. Are we talking about Tom 1? Resend your question in for next week. I think I'm confused. Are you talking about the Series X or the headphones?
Let's pretend that the question was geared towards, let's say,
the headphones.
The headphones, yeah.
For next generation headphones. Well, Turtle Beach did announce their first fully wireless. It connects directly to the box headphones. That's what I would get for the Series X. I don't know how the online stores. I don't know how the online store works.
Well, I would assume, and we all know what happens when you assume, it would be like...
We've all had bad experiences.
Yeah.
It's true.
One time I thought, I don't mean to interrupt you, one time I thought this lady was pregnant, and she wasn't. And now, don't assume that one. That one's bad
a big
news
assume.
bears. Which, by the way,
did you really do that?
yes, but it was obvious, and then it was all weird. And
Wait,
then
it was obvious that she wasn't pregnant?
she was. She was
Oh.
like 7-8 months.
Oh, and you assumed that she was.
I was just like, yeah, it's a really bad story.
But she got offended at you for asking her?
I think they were trying to hide it or something.
Okay, there's a point that you don't hide it.
But it was very specifically geared to me feeling really awkward.
What they say to you?
It was. I don't want to talk about it.
Was that dramatic?
It was pretty bad. And then yes, they were. Okay, so
Yes.
why is this my? I thought I was being polite, and it was
Yeah.
people that I didn't really know at the time.
Oh.
So obviously, it was a really weird thing. Don't assume. That's what I'm just getting at.
Yeah.
But
Jordan.
she was pregnant, so that's like it would
Yeah.
be different if. So, for instance, my father, when I think I was born, the story my mom tells it very well. The nurses were, helping out and saying, "Oh, yeah, blah blah blah," or, the baby's due here, and my dad said, "And when are you due?" And she said, "I'm not."
Yeah, that's.
And that's awkward because you got to stay at the hospital
Yeah,
for a little while.
that's
know?
when you switch insurance.
That's when they slap the baby harder than they're supposed
Yeah,
to.
I'm pretty sure that's what happened to me. Pretty sure that's why I'm a little slow.
It's like, don't mess with people that make your food.
Yeah.
You know, he
Yeah,
was
ouch.
delivering his baby.
How do you recover from that?
You
Ooh.
can't. I've been in that experience. You can't. And I had a friend with me, and he just looked at me and like shook his head. You're on your own. Like I didn't know
Hey,
where to go.
I would have jumped in. I would have jumped in if I was
Thank
there.
you.
I would.
How
on
would-
that-
how would-
Especially
on
if
that
I
situation-
was.
Hold on. Hold on. How would you jump in? Ma'am, you do look pregnant.
No, because
Like, how do you jump in?
But she was pregnant.
But we at the time we found out later. Like they
Oh,
were
you didn't
trying
know?
to. Yeah.
Oh.
Like it was a weird.
Wait, hold
Well,
on.
see,
So
I'm kind
were
of naive
they-
like that, so I would have jumped in and just been like, "So is it a boy or a girl? Do you guys
That's
know?"
what I thought. You know,
Yeah.
and I was being friendly and polite.
I just would have pulled right.
And
through
then
it.
when I looked at my friend to bail me out, he just shook his head like, "You're on your own
Wait,
on this
was she upset that you like ruined the surprise for everybody, or was because I'm now kind of confused as well? If she
I'm
actually
still
was
confused to this day.
lady,
I'll
there's-
tell you the whole
understand.
story.
lady, there's clearly a 10-pound baby in there. You're not hiding it from anybody.
She was
Although,
big.
if you're tall, there's this neighbor that we have, and her and her husband, like she's like 6'1", he's like 6'7". They're like giants, right? When they make babies, thunder. It's like the sound of thunder.
That's when
That's what
lightning
they-
struck the
yeah,
house.
it's like
You know that song, Lightning Thunder.
Yeah,
that's
like-
that's
like-
their baby making
He's
music.
like, is there thunder? I'm like, no, I think they're making babies right now. They are giants. And anyways, she was like due next week, and I could not. She's so tall that she doesn't show.
Yeah, the
Like,
baby spread
the
throughout
baby-
It's like wait,
It doesn't go out; it goes up. And I was like, wait, she's
It
pregnant.
was standing.
And my wife was like, yeah, she's due next week. And I was like, what?
Yeah, I can't
It
wait
was
to see that
insane.
baby's vertical jump.
It was insane. That's gonna be a giant baby.
Anyways, I'll tell you the full story later after the show.
Yeah, giant people scare me.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a giant, so don't.
Actually, yeah, lots of stuff. Yeah,
Unless they're gangly.
gangly.
There's gangly giants, and then there's like
like lurpy giants, like
Thor giants.
Woo, 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 woo.
yeah. Like gangly giants don't scare me, but these were not gangly giants. These are like, I will kill you.
Valhalla giants.
Valhalla giants, like Vikings. These were their ancestors
We're Viking.
were Vikings. Their ancestors raped, looped, and pillaged my ancestors.
No
Right?
wonder they are
So
terrified.
that's why I'm terrified. I think it's like built into my genes. Like they're big people.
Look how far we've come. Now you live in the same neighborhood.
Now
Look how far we've come in the world. Yeah.
Now we're neighbors.
So don't assume. I think that's the point of this, right?
So anyway, sir, what was the question? My question with the Xbox release not far off. Is there a certain release time for online? Is he talking about the console? Is that what we're?
I know we're gonna have.
Okay.
Tom,
yeah.
I apologize if you could resubmit that question for next week. That's my bad.
You will automatically get thrown in
He
for
probably
next week.
copied and pasted it wrong. Let's be
I think
real.
I probably did. Blake Dudley writes in and says, "What is the scariest game you have played that was not marked as a scary game?" He says, "I think mine is bigger." He says, "I jumped in last night after months of not playing. That game scares me every time." So that's a different type of scary.
No,
Like that's like
Tarkov.
Yeah,
It's the same
Tarkov.
thing.
yeah, that's like a oh my. Do I move? Do I not move? Where do I move? What do I go to? That's like an intense. Oh, you
You
feel
say
it,
the word
stress,
Tarkov, and
the
my
stress.
blood pressure immediately rises.
Well,
my
it's
heart starts going.
PTSD.
It's cousin Tarkov. You're like literally hiding in a bathroom with a gun for this, trying to like defend yourself from this marauder coming in, right?
And then even like chewing
And
a
you're
candy
just
bar
like-
is the loudest noise you've ever heard in your life.
Well, like when my character dies in Tarkov, I feel like I die.
It's true. Look,
Yeah.
it's true.
No, that's a good question, Blake. Vigor's his game. A game that has scared you that was not a scary game. The one that's for me is like a suspense game, and it was Alan Wake. Alan Wake creeped me out.
Wasn't that kind of marketed towards the
But no, it wasn't a scary game, though. It's like a suspense thriller.
It was very.
So that's like, but I don't think there's a game.
Well, I mean, we could go back to the original Resident Evils. They weren't necessarily marketed as scary, but
yeah,
they
those
were
they were.
definitely scary.
Yeah. No,
Especially
The
for a
only-
teenage.
Well,
The
and
only
then
scary
and in
game I can
fairness,
play.
they have the same kind of Tarkov Vigor feeling in that everything that you picked up was limited. And then
Sure.
once you used it, you
Sure,
used it.
yeah.
So it kind of had that same intensity feel.
Yeah, you only have 7 bullets and you got 7 or you only got what 5 bullets and then you got 20 zombies in the hallway.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get creative.
Yeah.
Usually, I just run.
Jordan,
fast.
how about you? Any game that is scary?
I think Tarkov would be
Tarkov,
because
like,
it really is like you're sitting in like I remember sitting in a shipping container, like crapping my pants because someone was outside. You know what I mean? And you're like, if they come in here, I just gotta pull the trigger. You know, like it's really
is.
that like it. I've never been in this situation, but I feel like it'd be similar. It's like when someone breaks into your home and
Like
you're
a
in
panic
the,
room?
You're in the panic room and you're like, okay, if they come in here, I just gotta pull the trigger. You know, I just gotta. And you're just talking to yourself,
It's-
like, you know what I mean? And like it's scary.
I can
man.
see that.
it's the sound in that game because there's no music, there's nothing except your feet going, and then you're checking like even like aiming down sight. You can hear somebody aiming down their gun
because they pull up their
because
gun.
they lift up, so you can hear clothes moving.
Yeah.
It is terrifying.
That is cool, though. Remember when I shot Jordan in the head because
Yeah,
That's on YouTube.
because we
Communication was
thought it
terrible.
was he was glitched out.
See, even at that moment, I felt like I died a little, and that's actually, it's actually like I don't know if it's like, I don't know. It depends on the situation because Mark unloaded on me one time too, but it was kind of a learning experience.
Well, that whole you're talking about under the bridge, over the bridge.
Yeah,
And then that's why we start getting good armor because we
Yeah.
realize how good that armor
You're
is.
like,
that he's
wow, that's
wearing.
really good armor.
I unloaded so many rounds into Jordan,
and it was like
because I'm going
it was
down.
like top tier. It was like mid tier.
He called out himself. This is
Guy on the bridge, and it's him.
No, so
yeah. He called out his. He's like, he's over there. He's over there. There he is. You know, he's coming under the bridge. And I turn around, and there is this massive guy wearing tier 6 armor, which is the best armor in the game.
I was like a juggernaut.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit!
Well, because what happened?
Reload. He's still standing.
and he's just taking it. And he's like, "Say stop shooting me!"
that's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then I get shot in the back. And that,
Well, that
I bet
actually
the other guy was laughing his head off.
that actually taught me like, and I have full respect for the military servicemen. Communication on the battlefield is actually like
Key. Oh yeah.
yeah, because like it was because the guy he was on this bridge and we were both on the top of the bridge, right? He went under, so I went under with him, and then I came so I called out under the bridge, and then I tried to flank him without telling you that I flanked
and then
him.
you came back.
and then I
under
came
the
back
bridge.
up.
So
yeah,
he called his own position
Yeah.
out, and it's my fault too because I don't know. And you feel terrible when Jordan spent like 300,000 rupees on this armor, and you take it, you kill him essentially, right?
well, you didn't kill me.
I
You
know,
wounded
I know.
the crap out
Which,
of me. The
by
guy
the way,
the guy cleaned us up.
I
by the way.
unloaded 2 full 30-round clips into this guy,
Yeah.
and he still survived.
And we're talking mid tier
yeah.
to top tier ammo.
We immediately went and bought more of that armor.
That is
I
hilarious.
was like, wow, that's worth it.
That is
That
hilarious.
300,000 rubles is not going to waste.
No, but
Fitzy in
Tarkov
chat
was-
says Metro Exodus
that's a
scared him. There are some points in that game that are genuinely freaky. Any post-apocalyptic, whatever,
Apocalyptic.
any post-dystopian game with radiation and mutated animals and creatures is always going to be scary. Okamihito says the first Dead Space scared me so much I had to stop playing the night I started playing it.
I hear
That's
Dead
a good
Space is
one.
really scary.
Dead
But
Space.
Dead Space, that was marketed as scary, right? That was like
Well, that was a shooter though, so I'm sure like even if it was marketed,
Well,
you go in thinking like, well, how scary can a
even
shooter
the
be?
cover with like the blood splatter.
Yeah.
you
It was
a
know?
hand, wasn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
It was. The cover scares me.
Well,
It did
what
have
was-
the word dead in it.
What was cool about that game is like you could shoot off body parts,
Yeah.
and you're like, wow,
Yeah, you could really.
This is next level.
this is awesome. Great question, Blake. Thank you very much for writing in. Last question comes from the one and only Hermit the Frog.
Yes.
Hermit the Frog writes in and says, "Hey, bros, I have a dilemma. I've been playing Fortnite with my kids for a few seasons and getting the Battle Pass. I'm feeling a lot of Battle Pass fatigue now, though, because I feel like if I don't get every item in the Battle Pass, I'm missing out on something.
Mm-hmm.
With my Series S coming, I want to get off Fortnite and make the most out of the Game Pass. What games can you recommend that might help ease my Battle Pass woes? I want something I can hop in and out of without feeling the need to totally immerse myself in the game. Thanks, bros. Keep up the amazing work. That is a good question. That's on Game Pass, a game you can jump in and out of that he doesn't have to invest a lot of time in, but that's just, it just hits the right spot.
So I have a similar game. It does have a battle pass, and some people may disagree with me. I don't think the battle pass is that great because of kind of the nature of the game. Anyway, it's called the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone, right?
Okay.
I don't feel the need to. I try and earn the battle pass, when I can, but I don't feel the need to get the battle pass because I don't know. It's not.
You only get it for the blueprints.
The blueprints, really,
that's
yeah, yeah.
And that's not necessary to enjoying the game.
Because I almost feel like because the game is so large scale, like I can't really see other people, and the color palette of the game as well. I can't really see other players. Like I can't go, oh man, that's the blah blah skin, right? You know what I mean? And then shoot them, right? I think the color palette has a little bit to deal with that. But also, it's more so just like nameplates. There is vehicle skins that I will admit there are some pretty cool ones here and there. I don't think it's like a terrible battle pass. I like the battle pass system, but I think it's a similar game for you where I don't think it's like Fortnite or Apex where it's like, oh my gosh, I have to hit level 55 because that thing is amazing. Other than, like you said, blueprints. But I feel with custom loadouts, you can kind of work your way around the blueprints. You know what I mean? Because you can just make it in a custom loadout.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to level up the gun if you don't have it, right? And that stuff. But I don't know. I feel like it's a similar game that... I mean, the Battle Pass obviously isn't needed for any of these games, but I don't feel like Call of Duty's Battle Pass is like next level Battle Pass. You know what I mean? And that's not to knock the game because I actually do think it's one of the best Battle Royales out there. But
my advice would be to play anything else but Fortnite.
Yeah.
Literally, Fortnite is how they do it, and they have perfected it, and they're the reason everyone else is trying to do it this way. They make it crack to spend that $10 and to do that. Their whole goal is to keep you and your kids playing as long as possible, right? Just play anything else and you'll feel that fatigue slowly.
A good option if you want to transfer to something and play with your kids still, Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah.
Is on Game Pass.
That's a great
That's a really good game to play together.
Hop in, hop out.
Myself, I think the best palate cleansers to me are racing games. I would go for Forza Motorsport 7 is there. It's a little bit more intense, but you can just do one race at a time. Forza Horizon 4 is on Game Pass as well.
Once you spend a couple days going through that tutorial.
Once you spend for your first 5 hours getting through that tutorial, you're good to go.
And then just enjoy Game Pass because it sounds like you have it. So just go through, download 10 games. Give yourself 5 games, download them, crank them on, and just turn them on and just start playing. And you'll eventually just forget that Fortnite.
Wean yourself.
You'll forget that Fortnite even exists.
Because we used to play Fortnite all the time. And I actually haven't played it in a while. Not to say that Fortnite's bad or anything. What happened? I think it was like you said when the airplanes came out. I think we just got burnt out of Fortnite.
Vehicles, man.
For me, once I started seeing clip after clip after clip after clip
because of
360-degree sniper spins, which clearly they weren't even on target, and so it's clearly a magnet on the bullet that killed any desire for me in that game. Like, I don't have the most skill on a first-person shooter, but I expect my competitive...
Or a shooter. That's a
third-person shooter. But I expect my games to be based on skill. And the fact that you can do the most impossible shots in that game because they wanted the highlights for little kids blew it for me. The magnet bullet.
Yeah.
Name another game where you can just...
Call of Duty.
3. Oh, yeah. Okay. Same thing, though.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, I mean, you go... Like, some of the most... seen memes ever is like, and sound bites from these memes is from Modern Warfare 2, where a kid just jumps off the map 367 times and then throws a knife in search and destroy randomly. He dies, but then it goes whoosh. Then you hear the kid go, "Oh my god!" Yeah, and that's actually why I have a thing. That game is actually why I have a theme against run and gun sniping.
Well,
because it's so stupid.
I 100% agree with you. I don't.
When you see the kill cam and that's what they're doing, you're just like,
Yeah, that's not skill.
I don't get. I know the community is very split on quick scoping. Right?
Well, quick scoping in Call of Duty is, I mean, that's one of the top highlights.
Yeah, and I know the community is very split on it. I tend to lean towards the side with Mark. I don't think you should be able to do that with the sniper. What is the purpose of a sniper rifle?
I know.
Keyword rifle.
And you're going up against SMGs and stuff that are meant for close quarters combat, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
And what's frustrating is
he doesn't even.
And it's just this.
Well, and it doesn't even go into look. They have timed it out, which is a lot of practice, I would say. But it's so stupid to just have something go dunk, one tap.
Well, and
dunk,
the thing is
tap, dunk.
it's so divisive that I feel like some of the developers purposely incorporate it and some purposely don't
Agreed.
incorporate it. You know what I mean? It's so like,
Well, a
And then
sniper
it
rifle.
pisses off
why? Yeah.
It's a big, heavy gun. You shouldn't be able to be that mobile with it. But yeah, it is
Yeah.
divisive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said name another game. That is the game that came first.
Fitzy, he recommends Hermit the Frog. He recommends Dead Cells is on Game Pass. That's a good game. Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves is a really good one. State of Decay. All those games are great to hop in and out of.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options there. So that's the beauty of Game Pass.
Is there
You're not taking a risk by jumping into a game. It's just like,
And
okay,
single
like
player games.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
single player game besides Dark Souls. Because that doesn't let you
Hellblade, or
Well, is there any
Senua's Sacrifices there?
is there any battle royale games on Game Pass? He seems like a battle royale fan, right? I know Call of Duty's not on Game Pass.
most battle
but-
royales are free.
Yeah, I guess. You're
Well,
right. That's
I
a
mean,
good point.
There's like Bleeding Edge.
Hey, that's actually a fun one.
Is it
There
though?
was a news story. There was a news story on Bleeding Edge. Is Bleeding Edge still being supported? Like they weren't responding on Twitter or anything. The theory was that
Maybe they were just on
no longer
holiday.
being supported. And when people had questioned them, and there was a news story about it, then all of a sudden, magically, the Twitter account came like, "We are still supporting and answering your questions. This game is not dead, but it's dead."
That's
Which is
too
unfortunate.
bad.
What do you think killed Bleeding Edge? Thank you very much for your question, Hermit the Frog. Great question. What do you think killed Bleeding Edge? Because I liked it, but
I did too.
I have no desire to play it now. Do you think that it was,
was
just
my-
timing for that game? What do you think it was?
Maybe it didn't have a battle pass.
Yeah. No, it was really like my most anticipated for.
Oh, it was lots of people's.
for that E3.
Yeah.
Remember? I don't know. I'll have to think about it and tell you after the show.
Oh, okay, guys. You know what I've been playing a lot of?
Yeah, definitely don't tell us on the show.
So well,
Yeah,
Spicy.
I don't
What do
I don't know,
you,
well,
what
I
do you
don't
think
know. I'll
killed
have
it?
to
Because
think about
that's
it.
kind of your world, the Overwatch world, and do you think that that's the people were that game modeled out?
Well, I think there's too many good games that require your attention. I honestly think that's what it is. It's surrounded by a lot of games that, I said it. It doesn't have a battle pass. Maybe it does now. I don't know. But seriously, we have games that we feel like we're missing out if we don't play. I mean, I haven't played games with you in a while because you're playing Vigor.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And why are you playing Vigor?
I'm almost level 50, baby. Almost
Oh,
level.
yeah.
12 days left.
You will feel left out if you don't play that game, right?
My skill deteriorates drastically too.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
And see, that's kind of what's going on with, unfortunately, these new IPs that are built around this. They're going into a space where these gamers' times are limited, and they feel like they would be missing out on.
Well, that's a really good point because like when Vigor is my competitive multiplayer game, right? Quote unquote. And when the way that I relax now is I'm addicted to City Skylines, so I'm playing City Skylines.
Honestly, that's the answer. Who was this? Hermit the Frog?
City Skylines.
City Skylines.
Yeah.
Play that game, and you will enjoy life.
Or in just a few weeks, Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have one complaint about City Skylines, the way that they handled it with Game Pass, because Paradox publishes it.
Sure.
I can't remember who the developer is. It's at the tip of my tongue. I apologize. But so I jumped in because I was like, okay, it's on Game Pass Ultimate. I'm going to play it on PC because that's going to be the superior way. I can bump up the
It
settings.
wouldn't have any of the DLCs, right?
It'd be
Because it's
super
Game
cool.
Pass. Or does it?
It has all the DLCs.
Oh, that's good.
And DLCs that you've purchased, they're saved there. So I jump in, I play it on Game Pass, and it is terrible. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's like, well, this isn't easy with the mouse at all. And so I went back to the console because controller.
Oh, you played it on the PC.
on the PC
Oh,
because it's
I
on
get what
Game
you're
Pass
saying.
Ultimate, right?
Okay.
So I went back to the console and I'm playing it there, and then I'm like, because I'm watching like people's cities builds, and I'm like, oh wow, look how good that looks, and I'm looking, I'm like, their UI is completely different. That's the PC UI. That's what I want. What Xbox did, or what's I'm not Xbox, but I'm sure it was Paradox, the publisher or whoever. What they did was for Game Pass Ultimate, they did not just give them the PC version. They ported the Xbox version over, it's called the Windows 10 edition, over to Game Pass. Meanwhile, on Steam, the actual PC version, which it was first, it wasn't developed on console, it was developed on PC. It is phenomenally better. It is leaps and bounds over. So I purchased it on Steam so that I could have that experience. That kind of angers me. Don't just port and I'm sure it's up to the developer, but don't just port your Xbox game over. Just use it's a PC game. Just use your PC version already right over there. Anyways, it was foolish. You should see my build, Spicy.
Is it pretty good?
I have taken hours in just designing it. And that's the key. You've got to really succeed, you've got to design how you want it to be laid out first. So I did like dirt roads everywhere just to lay it out, and then set up markers. Oh, it's so good. So cool. We're going big boy.
Yeah, that's a weird move. That must be a total licensing dilemma.
Something. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's super weird. Super weird.
That's too bad. But it's a great game. I purchased it first on the PC on Steam.
Oh, did
That's
you?
where I got it first, and that's where I got addicted to it. And then, of course, I bought it.
Oh, it's so much better on
Xbox
PC. Although having said that, the controls on Xbox are really nice. The only thing what I prefer on the PC is I maxed out on all the settings and it just looks really nice.
Sure.
That's what I like. And having instant access, you can always have your information panels up. On the Xbox, you can't. You've got to go into a menu to get those.
I believe originally on the console, you could not fast forward.
That's right. They did not have fast forward mode. I do remember that.
Do they have all 3 stages now on?
They have all 3 now on console.
Because then they released, I think it was patches later.
Yeah, they did. I remember that.
3.
We were playing it when they released those patches.
Yeah.
So there you go. Well,
I hope that answers Hermit the Frog's question.
I think it did.
Just play single player games, play calming single player games like City Skylines, or just not play Fortnite.
Someone in chat had a good one, Doom.
Ooh.
I know it doesn't sound calming, but it actually is.
Because of the smoothness of it.
It's very
It's
smooth.
actually,
And when you take somebody's face and rip it off,
you like feel the
Dude.
stress. You're like, oh, that felt good.
it's just like tingling sensations just falling off your back. It's fantastic.
Loyal Doyle says Fallout Shelter is so freaking.
I actually have heard that is a really
That's-
fun game.
That is the just one more turn. Just one more turn, or not? It's not even turn-based; it's time-based, right? So just gotta wait for these next
I
items to
can't
drop.
do the time-based games. I can't do it.
But what about like Sins of a Solar Empire? That's basically a time-based game.
But
Stellaris is.
But
kinda
you
the same
can
way.
fast forward those too, right? Or can you not?
No.
I swear you could.
'Cause all that to me and
No, I don't
those.
think so, because I remember like, all right, I'll send those guys to that planet and come
You're
back
right.
in about
But,
15
yeah,
minutes. And
because to
But
me,
you can do other things, like
Yeah.
with Fallout Shelter.
Yeah, you reach a point where you're just waiting.
You have to turn it off. This is my problem with mobile
Can
games,
you-
because they all use that formula. I make fun of my wife's game choices sometimes. I'll be honest.
Fallout
And
Shelter
she
is on the
hates it.
Xbox.
It is.
She hates it, and so I'm trudging into some scary territory mentioning this. But Candy Crush makes it so you cannot play the game unless you pay like a coin or something, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get lives and everything. And it annoys the crap out of me. And I'll be like, she actually keeps. She's great. I love my wife. She keeps her old phones without the SIM card, because she can use the lives on those phones.
Oh.
And I'm just thinking like that is so
hilarious.
stupid. I hate the timed games. I
Well,
even
I
played
think-
like the
I think-
Simpsons game for a while on mobile, right? I'm trying these games,
Well, here's the.
and you have to sit there, and then you can pay like money to make it go.
Well,
and-
here's the thing though with
Dumb.
like a Sins of a Solar Empire or a Stellaris, all that it's basically doing, and you're right because you can multi-manage it, but I actually prefer that version of a strategy game. It's like it keeps it real time, but essentially it's turn-based because of the time that it takes, right? Like, and all it's doing is instead of stopping and making you do a turn, it's taking time to move places.
I think
I
you
like that model for like strategy.
I think
it's
you
really
can
good.
still do stuff in Fallout though while waiting for different
Nope.
upgrades and stuff.
once you get to a point, sometimes you're just like, okay,
until you upgrade again.
unless I pay, or I don't know.
I don't think Fallout
No.
does that though.
I-
have
that-
you
that's
guys,
not-
have you
that
guys
was
played
true, yeah.
Fallout Shelter?
Doyle does have this. He says, "Spicy, I have a crazy spreadsheet for Fallout Shelter. It's a game you'd like, man. When you're not doing something,
I've
you're
played
planning
it,
what you do next."
and I've played a lot of it, but I got to a point where what else is there to do in that game?
There was
In
this.
Fallout Shelter or Candy Crush?
Well,
I don't know which game we're talking about.
Every time I mention any, like I have had these jabs for I don't even know how many years, but I'd be
There
like,
was this
what game
game
you playing now? She looks at me and I'm like, okay,
There was
I'm
this
not
game
saying
that I
anything
used
else.
to play as a kid that I would love to come back. Me and my buddies would play it because it was kind of Fallout Shelter. You know, Fallout Shelter, you're like looking in from the side.
Yeah.
So it was that, but what would happen is you'd have this whole underground facility with these monsters, and you could breed the monsters. You had to like keep them alive and do different things, and you could breed them, and you could breed like ultra crazy rare monsters, and then you could take those monsters and put them on a floppy disk and give them to your friends, and he can insert it into his world, and then he can breed that certain kind and make crazy. I don't know what that game is, but I can't even remember the name of it, but it was super cool.
You know what's interesting? I've met some clients of mine that they play Fallout Shelter and they have no idea what Fallout is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That is interesting.
I remember them. We were at a dinner, or no, we were at a lunch after a project, and we're all just hanging out, eating, right? And they were talking to each other. It was women, actually, professional women, right?
Sure.
They're in their late 20s or whatever, and they're just talking about how they have all their shelter and they're doing all this stuff.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, you play Fallout? Fallout Shelter? That's awesome. I think it was right when Fallout 4 came out, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I'm playing Fallout 4, and they're like, what?
They're like, 4? What? What is that?
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Wow, that shows the success
Fascinating.
of the
Yeah.
game. That's the success. That's exactly what they were going for.
Doyle's saying there's quests and stuff that you can do.
I did not play it on PC, so that's probably my problem, I guess. Maybe there's a lot more out than when I tried it, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do stuff while waiting from what I've seen. Like, it's not like a mobile type
it is.
game. Well, I mean, I know it's a mobile game because it released on mobile and stuff like that, but it's not like Candy Crush where you pay for time type things, or
no, you don't pay for times, but you still have to wait for someone to go outside and do stuff and build stuff.
I have a question for you, Spicy, because I think inevitably this is going to happen. Gambling laws are going to change in the U.S. Would you play poker online for real money?
Absolutely, 100% yes.
Yeah, I know.
No question.
Yeah, that's correct. Through your Xbox for real money.
Anywhere you can play it. I mean, they've done a lot of good versions of poker on, one in particular, poker game on Xbox that's really good. So they have.
And even before them, because the thing that kills poker is people will just go all in and try to bully people around because it doesn't mean anything.
Not
right?
necessarily. Well, when there's real money, that doesn't happen.
No. But because in like a Red Dead Redemption, it doesn't mean anything. You can just throw it all in.
It would probably be way popular on a console.
Yeah.
Because a console, it would be much more difficult to have the bot attachments and the calculations and stuff like that
It'd be
that
a
people
closed
get
platform,
on
yeah.
top. Yeah. Because people on like online poker use that stuff all the time to
Yeah.
give you the exact equations and stuff. Overlays.
the percentage of what who
To
has
have that
what.
removed makes it a far more better playing field for, I guess you'd call us casual players, right?
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Would Microsoft ever do that though? That brings in a whole bunch of legalities.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, there's liability issues there. On your platform, but is Microsoft responsible just having it as a platform versus the game developer?
Imagine your Xbox crashing with 10K on the line, right? That happens. That happens with online poker PC playing too.
That is.
You can watch
hilarious.
a lot of videos of that happening to people, and that's just sad.
That is hilarious. Or someone's about to lose, so they just disconnect.
I 100% would totally do it. I love poker.
That's good. There you go.
And when real money gets involved, it becomes you lean forward. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No. When real money's that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun. That does us for this week, everybody. Guys, we're 2 weeks away from the Xbox Series
That is
X
crazy.
dropping.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
I hope everybody gets one that wants one.
Amen.
I really do. I'm gonna after the show when we're in the post show with chat, I'm gonna ask everybody who all got one, right? Like
Yeah.
guaranteed got one. And maybe have we looked? Are there some available online now? Because I'll totally cancel my Amazon order if like Microsoft is.
Oh no. Nope.
Yeah.
There's none.
Hi everybody. I hope you get one.
Yeah.
And then enjoy it. So yeah. Anyways, so
Guys,
with that,
if you haven't yet, guys, we are dropping daily videos over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/XoneBros. Come subscribe to us there. That's where we record the live version of this podcast. just a great place to be. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts. The next generation, it is coming. It is glorious. It is exciting.
That's real funny. I'm going to talk to you about that, Jordan, after video.
Have a great rest of your
Thanks,
week, guys.
everybody.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Many.
I've purchased many, yeah, just to have them at a really high rate. So,
Jay,
hey everybody.